Give us some perspective on this. It's really dominating a lot of headlines when it comes to global news, but the president of Iran is mostly a symbolic position. The supreme leader has most of the control over the country. However, you say this is important. Ibrahim Raisi is a hardliner who could have been next in line to be the supreme leader. How should investors view his passing along with the death of the foreign minister?
Well, the passing of the president and the foreign minister and entourage in the helicopter crash in Iran comes at a time when investors are paying a little bit more attention to the Middle East than they used to. And just a few weeks after Iran and Israel, exchanged ballistic missile fire in an unprecedented increase in tension. So it's right to look at what's happening there. As you said, the office of the president, Ibrahim Raisi's position is largely ceremonial, but he was tipped to be a successor. So I think of all of the moving pieces that are going on in the Middle East right now, we're going to be seeing a tightly managed succession process happening with Iran, new elections coming within 50 days, and not a likely spike in the oil price risk premium.
Yeah, I want to talk about the oil prices in just a minute, but I want to talk to you about those succession plans. So Iran has actually been very vocal about trying to stress there's going to be continuity in government. But at the same time, could this signal a possible shift in policy either in the Middle East, possibly towards Saudi Arabia, maybe towards the U.S.? And of course, the question is, does this lead to any change in the stance against Israel?
Well, again, it's the right question to ask because the Iranian leadership, through its proxies, Hamas, obviously, the Houthi rebels who have been causing so much disruption to supply chains in the Red Sea, and Hezbollah, the hopes from the West and others that Iran might change its stance are present, but not very well founded. In my view, the Iranian leadership, the supreme leader, who is the ultimate holder of power, is going to be at great pains to emphasize continuity. Russia, for example, will be looking to make sure that Iran still provides it with those Shahed drones that it's using in its fight against Ukraine. Continuity and managed succession will be paramount, but remember that Raisi will not be mourned by many. He was known as the butcher of Tehran. Iran is a country of 80 million people, and many tens of millions of them will not be sorry that he is gone.
You know, according to your research, you also mentioned that he was elected president, but it was during historically low turnout. So it may not be representative of the complete sentiment of the population. Okay, I do want to talk to you about the oil price. So we're going to show the oil prices, Brent crude in particular, the international benchmark since October the 7th. That's when we saw that Hamas attack on Israel. And since then, if you look at the international benchmark, and this is a head scratcher for me, oil prices are actually down. They're down more than 0.5%. While I was in London, we spoke to a number of oil analysts, and we kept hearing over and over and over again that oil prices, they were kind of stuck, but if there was any type of geopolitical disruption, they could spike. We've continued to see a number of disruptions, military actions and other things. In your mind, what's the outlook for the oil market on this news? Does it possibly have an impact?
So it is a head scratcher, as you say, but there's one really important change in trend in recent years, and that is the advent of U.S. energy independence and shale gas. That really explains why oil prices aren't moving in response to Middle East risks. However, I would caution that doesn't mean that Middle East geopolitical risks are of no significance for the investment environment broadly. And we, again, have so many moving pieces. The war in Gaza, also the fact that Mohammed bin Salman has canceled his trip to Japan over reports that his father is ailing. That probably means that he's seriously unwell, if state media in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are reporting that. But I don't expect that the death of Ibrahim Raisi is going to change policy in Iran. The thing to watch would be if the domestic opposition to the regime, which again is strong, were to try to push for change. I think they are pretty flattened after the harsh crackdown following the protests over dress code. And remember the Green Movement in 2008, 2009. Thousands were executed after that. Raisi and his ilk were part of it.